I talk for a living. What are some of the things I can also do? Let me see. I act. I think I'd be a great actress. I sing. Wow. And I think I smile for a living too. So these are my talents. These are my talents.
Okay.
The smiling is more dominant.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So how can I use my smiling to be? I mean, you hear people, they're like, okay, now I can fix clothes, I can do that. And it all comes, with small coins attached to it. So that's what people are doing to make the money. But you are now taking us through some courses or how we can actually, you said first to identify the things that you have, and then you know which one to monetize. But what if you have probably about 3? I mean, because like me, I love to sing. I would love to have my own song. Actually, the birthday song on the show is my song.
Hey, wow.
Yeah. And then I'm thinking, okay, singing can make me some money. And then maybe talking can also make me some money. Then acting can make me some money. All of these 3 are like stuff that people are literally making millions on. So how then do you choose? If you're somebody like
So
me?
when you are multi-talented, if you don't take care, you can experience what the economists call the resource curse.
Resource?
Yes.
Oh.
So Ghana, economists, Ghana has gold, timber, bauxite, and all those things. But Ghana still has to, be taking hand out in order to manage itself. So because you are multi-gifted, if you don't take care, there is that temptation of either you want to develop all the skills and all the talent at the same time, or you take some, you work on it a little, you drop it, and then you go for others. They are all wrong strategies. You pick them one after the other. If you look at some of our business people who have gone into acting, they may not have started from scratch.
Right.
They were doing bits and pieces of it, but at a certain stage in their life, they decided to give 40%, 30% attention to acting, though they are business people. There are people who have been singing for years. All of a sudden, you see them on the screens. So, can this person also act? The person has been doing it at the backstage for years. So the rule is you are multi-gifted. Pick one, grow it, sharpen it, professionalize it to at least some good level before you pick the others and develop them along. It doesn't mean you will drop them. You do them alongside, but more of the attention goes towards just one, which you are very, very good at. Because there is always a dominant talent. And the dominant talent requires more attention, more resources. Growing up, most of my money goes into buying books because deep from within, I knew I was going to be a writer. If there is a conference that has to do with authors and things, I want to be there because I knew I could do that. But talking was not part of my life. Yes, I've never liked talking and speaking in front of people, but it's always been there. So gradually I was working on that. Now I go to places, I talk, and they pay me. Yes.
Right,
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So in choosing the talent or the one that we can monetize, for want of a better word, do we necessarily have to pick the one that we don't have to pay so much for? If you're somewhere in Sudan, Ghana, Togo, you're thinking you have to spend so much to do it. Maybe you have to go back to school, don't have money for masters or PhD and all of that. But even that one is the one that is supposed to bring you, the real cash. Would you advise they go for lesser ones, then later, and then, but the downside to that might also be that probably later you might not even be able to go back to school. Okay. How do you deal with that?
All right, okay, that's a very interesting one. So when I was in the University of Ghana between 2004 and 2008, I was reading home science, food and nutrition management, those courses.
Do you cook?
It's a long time I cooked, but I used to cook.
Yeah.
So that's the course I was reading. But because I knew deep from within what my future would be like, I always made time on campus to read, to research, to learn. I was doing this alongside. I couldn't have the opportunity of learning publishing and writing like somebody would do when the person goes to KUST. But I used my private time, I used other opportunities for workshops and things to learn this whilst doing my academic program.
Right.
So it didn't cost me a lot of money. So there are always opportunities to sharpen and grow your talent. Whilst you may be living in an environment that may be unfriendly or may not have opportunities for you to do exactly what you want to do. I didn't have the opportunity to go and do a course in writing and things. I was doing my bachelor's program in the family sciences, but I made time to use other inexpensive strategies to sharpen my gift along the way. So the environment should not necessarily be a hindrance. You can always find a way around it.
Great. So, so we go through the process of, okay, we have three talents that should be able to bring us some money, and then we decide on one, and if possible, we go to school for it, and then from there, where do we go? Okay.
So, the best thing to do is, even before you think about schooling. Yes, and I want to emphasize this one because if you restrict yourself so much to schooling, there's going to be that danger of medical school and the way and a program way, you know, then the issue of money and things come in. Right. I will advise people to look for cost-effective strategies on honing and sharpening their talent. So, for instance, you've just finished senior high school.
Okay.
Hospitality is an area you are so much interested in. Your parents don't have money to send you to go and do a degree program, or maybe some expensive cooking course somewhere. Yes, but there's a restaurant around you, you know, or around your area, there's a hotel around your area that you know. You could go there to do attachment or internship for a period where you learn the practicalities of what it means to run a hospitality business. Right. As you do this, they may not even pay you so much. You are gathering money, you are gathering experiences. Later on, you now go back to school to do either that HND or that degree program in catering and hospitality management or whatever. So the approach should always be, what can I do in the immediate instance? Because I want to avoid the excuse of, I don't have money to do that. I don't have money to go here. Because most of the things can be learned around. The school is just a formalized system of sharpening our skills. But it's not the alpha and the omega. Ideally, I was arguing with somebody that why would you finish a degree program and then you rush and go and do your master? What are you going to master? Since you finish your degree, what have you been able to do? What work have you done? You know, so you do the practical, and then along the line you go, and then you formalized what you've always been doing.
I see. How can we do this sales and marketing thing attached to? I mean, from what you're saying, we've gone through the process of making our gifts sharp, sellable, but people, you know, might not even know how to monetize their gift. We have it. We've gone to school. We have all the beautiful things. We are an embodiment of what God has made us, but we don't know how to monetize it. How do we do that?
Yes, so the monetization begins with an awareness. So for instance, you've been cooking for people anytime there is funeral. Family members will call you. Hey, come and cook for us. Funeral is coming on this Saturday. Because the way you're able to do the granite soup, the way you're able to do the okra stew, the way you're able to do the jollof, so you'll be doing free show. Nobody pays you. You must come to a point in your life where you tell yourself, this free show thing must stop. Now, if you call me to come and cook for you, these are the packages. Because if you don't decide that I am going to charge for the cooking, you continue to do it for free. So you go and cook happily, people will be eating and be smiling and all that. You come into your room, now I drink what to eat. Right. So, number one, decide that at this point of my life, I want to monetize my skills. That's the first point. So you decide. Number two, after you have decided, you look for people who can pay for your services. So if your immediate friends and family around you are not ready to pay, you go outside of that domain to start looking for people who can pay your services. You can do that by engaging people at church. Let people at church know that you are a graphic designer. How can you be in a church and what you do as your number one gift? Only 3 people know about it. No, that's so bad. How can you be in a community and nobody knows that you are very good in cooking? So,
can I have a card? Would you advise that we go to church, have a card? Hi, Charlie.
This is even easier. It's even easier. If you design something and you put it on your status and give it to 20 of your friends who also put it on their statuses, within a very short time, you can have about over 1,000 people viewing and knowing what you can do. These days of social media and digitalization, I mean, there's a lot that you can do in creating awareness of your abilities. But the intentionality, that is where the problem is. People are not intentional that I've been doing this cooking, I've been doing this graphic design for people for free for 5 years. Next year, people must start paying. That's what the problem is. So set that timeline. That at this, it's just like even hosting a morning show. You have a target for yourself. You know how much you're earning now. They say in 5 years' time, my morning show is going to be the biggest in the nation, and this is the price tag I'm putting on it.
Right.
So that's how it moves. The conscientization that I want to start doing it. No more free show. That's important.
So you decide.
Yes.
I want to make money out of this thing I've been doing for so long.
Yes.
I'm good at it now, and money looks good on it.
Exactly.
Then after that, you create awareness about it. And then you expand.
Yeah, so you have after creating the awareness, you must look directly for people who can pay. I'm very so much concerned about looking for people, because there are people that you do the work for them and you have to chase them for the money. There are people who may not even value what you are doing for them. They don't want to pay you for it.
Right.
You cost 500, they said they'll give you 150. They don't respect what you're doing. So after doing it for some time, the free ones and the small coins and all that, when you get to that professional level, you must insist on looking for people who can pay and pay well for your services. Yes.
Okay, so look for people who can pay and pay well for your services, so if friends and family will not pay, just shift, take a dive. But, from the point of starting to think of monetization, now selling the product, there must be certain bigger platforms of marketing, sales and marketing, a deeper level of it, right? How can we do that now? Because I feel like people are stuck on just, I do this for money and that's it. But is there a deeper level we can get? Is there like a technical thing they can employ now to make sales and marketing a big thing that helps their business?
Yeah, so that is when you are getting a transition from just what you do as an individual to now building a team. Right. As you start as an individual, talking to people, mouth-to-mouth advertising and doing all those things, that gets to a time where you need other people to assist you in the team. So you try to look for someone who's very good with the money. Because probably you are very good with the MCing and you get the money, but before the next assignment, all the money is gone. So you want to get a financial manager who can help you to manage the money. You want to look for somebody who can do marketing, help the world know what you have to offer. So you build a team by making the transition of just one-man show to now a business. Once you build a team, you now have a business. As a business, there are clear laid out strategies you follow on how you want to advertise and how you want the public to get to know you. So when you get to that level, you now run the whole thing as a business, a professional business. Now, many people are not able to make the transition of just being a one person and doing that into a business, because sometimes they assume that if I get a lot of people, I have to pay them. And somebody will come and steal my idea, or somebody will come and just mess up the whole thing for me. So they remain at the small level, they micromanage it, they continue to do that thing at the small level there because they don't want anybody to come in, they don't want anybody to steal them. But to grow big, you have to take a risk. And taking a risk means bringing others in to help you. You are technically good, but you are not a business manager. You should accept it and bring others in. You'll be running this in your house, but there is a time where you must go and rent a store and rent a space and put the billboard there, let people know that this is a business, this is the office. You must make that transition, and you must set a goal on making that transition. Other than that, you'll be in that small kiosk, that small container, or that your small room for many years.
Let's get into work ethics. People have wild talents. I see that in some... I'm a woman. When I go to the salon, I want a specific lady to touch my hair. And I've maybe become so accustomed to it. When she's not around, I'm like, okay, let me wait a little bit. You see that with the barbers, and like the men, where they do, those who make your clothes for you and all of that. But then, over time, you start to see, and the moment they start to employ other people, they become ogboro. Then you don't, let my small girl do it for you. Let this person do it for you. So gradually you start to lose customers based on certain. I want you to educate us on work ethics and discipline how to keep a business running, so that it's not I can do it and so now you pay for it and that's it, we're done. Yeah, so let's get into that.
Okay, so I want to start from our emotions. You see, one of the hindrances to making money is the way we manage our emotions. Imagine hosting a morning show and before you came on the show, you had a problem with either your boyfriend or you had a problem with your husband. When you come and sit here, you have to behave like you are the happiest person on earth. Other than that, you are going to spoil people's show in the morning. That is professionalism. One of the problems people have is how to go beyond their personal problems into providing a service. And if you don't know how to do that, it can affect your business. It can affect how you make money. You can't make money by being emotional. You must separate your personal problems from serving a customer. Right. Having laid that foundation, I want to say that when you have a business, the business is more about the customer, the people you are serving, rather than yourself. It's not easy for all of us to do, including myself. But if you want to make money, that's what you do. You are serving people. So you have a service mentality. The woman says, I want Abena to do my hair for me. Abena is sitting there, she's not too busy. Why would I insist that Ekuya should go and do the hair for the person? It means I'm not interested in the money, I've gotten enough. If you want to stay in business, you pick information from customers, and it goes with a lot of humility, a lot of attitude of service. Other than that, you get tired of people. You'll be screaming on them and shouting on them, or even ignore them. So the service culture helps you to keep customers and be able to serve them well. You have your own problems and challenges, you put them aside, you behave as if there is nothing happening, and you go all out into serving the people. Of course, when you go into the dynamics of customer service, customers are different, they make different demands. In order to keep them, you must meet their specific demands, the way they want their things to be done. That's the only way you stay in business. If you do it your own way, you are driving them away.
So you're talented, you have a business, you've monetized it, you've been able to employ other people. Now we need to know how to manage the workers, yourself, and then the customers, right? But at what point can you just say that, look, even if the customer is right, the business first? At what point do you make that decision? Okay,
so the basic rule is that the customer is always right. Yeah. Not to say that the customer cannot make mistakes. But the decision you take as a business person is to ensure that you sustain the business and you make the customer happy. Right. If the decision will lead to maybe you losing money and also losing the customer, then you're not making a good choice. There should always be a way of being able to keep the business and keep the customer. So the price you want to accept that will help your business is 500 cedis. The customer says, I can pay 450. And then you get angry and say, okay, because of the 50 cedis difference, oh yeah, that's okay. Somebody will come and buy. So in that case, you're not playing a good game because the customer is gone. And the difference is just a little. But you want to insist that the customer can always be right. So you want to let the customer go so that you can keep your business and also losing the money. It doesn't make sense. So at what point do you make that distinction of whether the customer is right or wrong? It depends on what choice will sustain and keep your business. If 3 different people have gone over just some small little issue over your business, then as an entrepreneur, you are not doing well. We have to face the truth. Yeah, so we shouldn't fight the argument of the customer is not always right. So if a customer is engaging you, you want to be sure that you are putting them to their tools or, making sure that they don't cheat you. I don't think that's a good attitude in business. Look for a very fair ground where you can play a very fair game, both for the business and for the customer as well.
I see. We're learning. We're going to make money the right way. Because we're supposed to be kingdom financiers, we're supposed to spread the gospel, and so the gospel might be free, but transitioning it, sending it across costs a lot of money. So we would open the phone line just for a few minutes, so that you can call in and ask some questions that are affecting your business. You're an entrepreneur, you're a Christian, you're working in a certain environment, and all of that. You want to know certain very salient points that will help in your business. Why not calling, and then the window is just really short, so we can address that. Let's get on with mentorship and guidance. I have seen people,
Yeah.
hey, who feel like, okay, mentorship and guidance comes like, it's like from up to down, right? Yeah. But some people feel like, okay, I don't need to be mentored. I don't need any guidance. I have the talent. I have Jesus. I have the Holy Spirit. I get backing. So business should be good. How do we do in the absence of mentorship and guidance?
Okay, so Biadala, the thing is, whatever you want to do in this life, you can do it. But sometimes you are concerned about time.
Okay, so we have Gifty. Gifty. Good morning, Gifty.
Good morning.
Oh, I like your voice. All right, so let's hear you.
Pacho, yeah, sorry, no, I am a singer. I sing a lot, but sorry, no, we don't have the necessary instruments and only can be coachy to bring the best out of you. Then my mama, you struggle, and we say be our car probably for no sooner a yes and for because more me because I'm losing myself. Sometimes or say be embra on for organ embra like a whole lot. Jama the talent in I'm no more much interested in the singing, but a honor me dominate you. Thank you.
Right. Okay, so Gifty is asking, she actually spoke Chi, one of the Ghanaian languages that we have. She's asking that, okay, she's in a church. She loves to sing. It's one of the things that she thinks that is going to bring her a lot of money, fulfillment. But the church doesn't have the resources to actually help her build that talent. And over time, she's losing interests. So for somebody like that, see, I spoke about environment,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So how does she navigate through that? So that one, she's not disloyal, she's leaving the church. Now she feels like she's singing better. So she wants to go to another church where they have instruments. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get
So
it.
how do we fix that?
Okay, so first of all, before she even think about leaving the church, you ask yourself, what can I make out of the situation? I think that it will be very important to have a meeting with your pastor and let him know what your challenges are. I think that every reasonable pastor wouldn't want to lose such a talented person. So he will definitely come out with some measures that will help you to be able to at least be in an environment where you can hone your skills and become a better version of yourself. If things are not still going your way and you think you're losing yourself, then at that point it is important to look for an environment where you can make the best out of yourself. Yes, because your singing is what God has given you. And I believe that just like the parable of the talent, at the end of the day, God is going to ask you, what did you do with the gift? And you can't tell God, God, my pastor, they don't have machines and things. That will not be a good excuse.
Right. Okay, so Gifty, you heard you need to do the right thing. Speak to your pastor about it. Maybe even if you have to get a few deacons on board so that anyone who can help, because, I mean, aside the fact that you're trying to build your talent, you're also trying to help the church establish, and I think that will be a good thing. Let's get back to, okay, we have Morgan, right? Morgan. Hi, good morning, Morgan.
Yes, good morning. I'm fine, and you?
We're great. Let's hear you.
Yeah, apparently, let's say I'm a skilled man, like a craftsman. So now I really want to, move forward and like just be into something, into something great. So I just want to ask the man next beside you if maybe you can offer some kind of mentorship or something.
Okay. As part of your craft, what exactly do you do?
We do interior decor, let's say, as in furniture, like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I see. So you want to make it big now. You want to become a big boy in town because of that. So Morgan wants to monetize the whole thing. Morgan wants to be big. Morgan wants to be one of the celebrated craftsmen in Ghana. So he's asking how he can go about it. He's into interior decor.
So the ideal thing is that I'm assuming that Morgan might have gone through some training and he's out of the training now. So usually what happens with most of these apprenticeship programs is that you go into it for 3 years, you are done. After that, you decide to either serve your master for a number of years before you set up your own, or you go and set up your own and you still be working in partnership with your master, so that sometimes he can, offload some of the works to you. And these things are very good, so that it doesn't leave you stranded and unemployed. Because that's where you spend 4 years learning the job. If for nothing at all, you can still be serving him till you're able to stand on your own. Okay. Now, if you decide that you don't want to work with your boss again and you want to be on your own, as in running your own business, that is good. But then you still have to be under mentorship. Because there are most of the frustrations of setting up a business and running it comes from lack of experience, lack of exposure, which can be corrected when you work closely with somebody who's already done this for years.
Right.
Because sometimes the frustrations are not necessary if you get the proper direction. But some of these young boys, sometimes, some of them don't even finish the trade. They're in a hurry to close. And they abandon their master. And they start working. So I'm sure you might have even engaged some of them and they've done the plumbing work. So, I'm not a plumber, but as for this plumbing work, no. The guy didn't do the thing well. Yeah. Because he didn't take his time to finish the apprenticeship program. He didn't learn it well. After graduating, he didn't serve well to gain more experience. Probably thought, this man is cheating me. Why do I keep serving him and doing all this? Let me go and set up on my own. Do you have the requisite experience to set up on your own? Do you have the needed resources to be able to get the machinery and things to start looking for business and working for people? These are relevant questions to ask before you start thinking about, I want to be on my own.
I see. Peter is on the line. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, madam. Please, how are you doing?
I am a blessing. I pray you are too. Tell us what you have for us.
Yes, I want to contribute to the program.
Great.
Interestingly, the topics you are bringing out are some of the very vital things that, as Christians, we will need to understand. The world has evolved. By the way, before I continue, I like where the brother, the spokesperson, said a person should be able to differentiate between his personal issues from the business issues, because it can never work. On that part, people are not ready to go through the process of maturing to becoming a full-scale business personality. For example, the brother who just called, he said he was into furniture and he wants to, and there's another lady too who said she's a singer and all those things. It takes time to mature, but talent in a person and some few praises makes you think that you are ready. But in real business, you have to start the process. People must know you until the same people introduce you to the top level. The top level is not a place that you can go there. It's a personality you build, and that personality becomes the top level, not what you have. Top level is inside you. So when you get to that top level, even if you don't have anything, the people at the top level, knowing that you have it in you, will see you among themselves, and they can entrust the top level transactions into your hand. So I think this is what I can add up to what you are already saying. I like the beat the brother is wearing. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much for that contribution. Oh, wow, that's a really great one. Yes. I love it. So people have to introduce you to certain quarters. Now, people wouldn't want to even introduce what will not bring probably some good news to them, right? So you don't want to introduce someone who end up disgracing you.
But one thing I also picked from, are you picking up?
Yeah, go ahead.
So is the fact that he emphasized what I would term as patience. Patience. So there is a time limit for transitioning from what you can do, what you have learned, into building a whole business for yourself. If you see someone who is doing so well today, that person might have started that journey 30 years ago or 40 years ago. And you who have just come out of school, you cannot do the same thing. You know, I was making a presentation recently, and I said that if you're a musician and you are thinking about releasing a music video, then Hamilton shouldn't be your standard. Dan Hamilton started doing music how many years ago? And you are just releasing your first music and you are comparing her music video to yours. It will take time.
That's right. Yeah. That's very true. So we see some quotes on screen. These are quotes from the book Financial Evangelist, right? So you're going to have to take it. So it says, a person with little talent but strong drive can often achieve more than someone with great talent but little ambition. Oh, wow. Being multi-talented is not enough to guarantee success. To reach significant achievements in your career, you need both ambition and determination. Wow. Now that's some bars right there.
So let me just chip this in. When I was in school, I mean, I've always been good when it comes to academics. Yeah, right from primary school, junior high school, throughout. Sometimes I see some of my colleagues are way back 20 years, 25 years in school. They were not too good. But today, some even have PhDs.
Wow.
And I said, how did it happen? It's determination. They were determined to make the best out of life. They were not too gifted. They were not too skilled. But something keeps boiling inside them and said, I can become an accountant.
That's right.
I can build a global business. So that ambition, that drive, is more important than the gift that you have. I even put in a very simple way that determination is more powerful than destiny.
Ooh. Okay, that's what we're taking home. Determination is more powerful than destiny. Wow, that's big. You should always join the Kingdom Finance series. Thank you so much, Mr. Semanu, for actually coming through. Well, look no further. If you have, I've had an experience, you know, you want to have an ultimate experience, okay, when it comes to events. We are talking about Sahara Rise. It's a hospitality business where you don't just plan events for you, but they make it happen. You can visit them on the Spintex Road, SIC Live Mall, or Accra Central, or you can actually call them 0244 3872 18 or 0266 198 155. That's Sahara Rise. And then V Million Roses, also on Instagram. They make all your occasions look so beautiful. You don't want to ever miss V Million Roses touch for your occasions. You get there. And also thank you to Kelly Keys for sorting our African prints out. This has been Wake Up Africa with me, Biandela. I've enjoyed my time. I know you've enjoyed your time. We'll see you tomorrow.